Okay, this is a leg mobility and stability workout so that you can get into these splits easier and just have full length and relaxation of your leg muscles. So you're going to start in this wide stance position with your toes pointed forward and your heels driving into the ground, and actually try to grab the mat with your feet and then flex your quads and engage your glutes, standing up nice and tall. Big deep breath. Feel the air, feel the world around you. You're so excited to be here, to be alive, and it feels great. If you're doing this in the morning, that's awesome. You're like starting your day well. And if you're doing this in the evening, maybe you're just winding down for the evening. Here we go. We're going to hinge at the hip, so keep those quads contracted and your spine flat as you come forward here, but then stop at about parallel. You can place your hands on your legs for some support here. And again, just keeping those quads engaged, nice and length through the spine. Deep breaths. We're going to hold here for a few moments. Now, if I move through and you just want to hold a little bit longer, pause the video and hold a little longer. I mean, shortest is 30 seconds and longest is 2 minutes. So I honestly don't know how long we're going to end up holding these in the video, but we're going to work through them, and then if you need to lengthen and hold for longer, that's totally fine. Okay, so from here, we're going to slowly relax, and if you feel comfortable, you can get a little bit lower, but don't round your spine a lot. We're just going to get a little lower, as low as you feel comfortable. If you're feeling that hamstring stretch, and then we're going to bend the knees slightly while we're down here. That's going to start to engage your glutes, and we're going to stand up. I find that is the safest way for me personally to get out of that, but if you like to roll up yoga style, that's fine, but I do find the bending the knees and flexing your hips is just a little more comfortable for the lower back. Let's transition, point that toe to the corner of the mat, and then your back foot is also going to go that way. We're going to engage the chest, and we're going to bend at the knee, and you're going to kind of come forward here, feeling a stretch in through this thigh, as well as maybe some strengthening through this front leg, and holding here for a moment. Hands can be on your hips, so we're not fully doing yoga here, so you don't have to hold your hands out. We're just using yoga-like poses to work our full body. And now we're going to pivot on the back leg, and we're going to bring this bottom knee down, have some sort of padding if your knees are sensitive, and then point that back toe, engage your glute. That's where we're going to get a big stretch here, and this leg, your knee is going to come slightly over your toe. That is fine as long as you don't have any pain there. If you do, we can move that foot more forward, and that will give you some rest and relaxation there. You're doing so great. We're going to hold this as long as you feel comfortable here, but keep that back glute going. And if you're feeling like you want to push yourself deeper, you can go deeper. But if you're feeling no, I don't want to go that deep today, just back off. Totally fine. We're going to flex that back leg to stand up. So you're actually going to engage, bring this leg up, and then stand up through that front leg. That's going to work it a little bit. And then you're going to bring your back leg back. Hopefully you can see me okay. It's looking a little dark in there. If I do need to adjust, we will say goodbye to the sunset, but it's looking pretty. Wherever you are, I bet is beautiful as well. Take a moment to be aware of your surroundings. All right, that back leg is pivoted at first, and we're striding forward to get that long, nice stretch to that back leg. And then we're going to turn that back leg and drop the knee down for that back hip flexor stretch. Point the back toe, engage the glute, and deep breaths here. If you want to make it a little more even deeper, you can bring your hands behind your back. When you're ready, you're going to bring your back leg with your toe up, and we're going to stand all the way up. Now, at this part, we're going to get on the ground, so go ahead, get on the ground in the way that feels most comfortable for you. From the ground, we're going to come into a pigeon pose. You're going to bring one knee out in front of you and the back leg behind you, kind of like we had it before in that kneel, but now your toes going to be down and your glutes going to be engaged. Your hips are square and this front leg is in a bent position, and you're going to just slowly come forward and feel this out. So you might feel like your hamstring is what is limiting you. You might feel like your hip is limiting you, just depending on where you're feeling the stretch. If you want to feel it more hamstring, you can open up your ankle, and if you want to feel it more in your hip, you can close that ankle in. Again, just kind of doing what feels good in this moment, in this here and now. It doesn't really matter. It just depends on what you need in this moment. All right, so I'm going to be here with you holding. If you need to skip forward, I feel like we should give this a little bit of attention. Give it good attention because this one's so important, so good for our hips. So take a few deep breaths here, and you can experiment with how far you lean forward, and you can also like come up a bit and see how that feels for your body. And then we're gonna slowly transition into not the other side. We're actually gonna reverse this here, and we're gonna come into a little hamstring stretch, and we're gonna bring this back knee into a little hurdler's stretch. So hamstring in front, hurdler in back. We want to engage this back glute here so that we're rotating that hip forward. Engage this quad and a slight hinge here. Now it's not about reaching towards your toe and like rounding your back. It's more about just allowing your chest to fall forward towards your leg to get that hamstring stretch. You're doing fantastic, I know it, but if you do have any questions on form and you're my client, you can go ahead and send me a video of your form just to make sure you are doing it right, or if you have any questions about it. But what I've found is that it's not really about doing it right. Like we do want to do it as best as we can, but at a certain point, perfectionism can take hold and we can start to fear certain exercises. Oh, am I doing it right? Whereas, like, I trust that you can look at those videos, see how you're moving your body and how it feels, and just be in tune with yourself here. So holding as long as we want, and then you're going to bend this front knee, and we're going to slowly transition into our pigeon pose on the other side. So I'm trying to do as little movement on my hands as possible and really let just my body position here hold. And working this other side, keep that back leg engaged. That's really what is going to help with the splits. Specifically, if you are looking to get into the splits, is just having not just the flexibility, but also the strength in that position, which the back leg in the splits does have to contract through the back quite a bit as we go in here. You're doing so great. And hold a little longer if you feel necessary. And we're going to slowly do the other side with our transition here. If this transition is not smooth, you can transition another way. Whatever you feel like, it's good for you. Okay, open up this back leg. We don't want it to be like too cramped there. Ooh, see, I got a cramp. I got a cramp. Ooh, 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 ooh. Shake it out. Shake it out. Okay, here we go. Ooh, got the pop. Yay! Here at the quad to hinge forward again and keeping some engagement through this back glute to open up that hip, and we're leaning forward, holding. You're doing so good in this hold. When you are ready, we're going to straighten both legs. Stretch our adductors, which are these guys here. Now, you first want to lift up your cheeks Make sure that you're not rounded at your lower back. Lift up nice and tall, engaging your quads. And we're going to forward fold here, not from the low back again. We're going to hinge at our hip as much as we can. And you can reach for your toes, you can reach for your shins. I wouldn't reach forward because that's going to, again, make your low back want to contribute here in flexibility, where we're going to focus on just the hamstrings and the adductors. Deep breaths. I think it's important here to create space for you to have your own thoughts during your workout and to be alone with your exercises, your movements. Not everything's about form and function. Sometimes it's about just being in that moment, enjoying that feeling. So if my awkward silences come across as, why isn't she saying anything? It's just because I want you to have your moments alone with your body. You can always just put this on mute too. You can mute me and just watch. I do that to a lot of videos. All right, we're going to bring in our feet together for our final movement here. This one's awesome. So you're not going to push down a lot with your elbows. Again, we're going to keep it active with our muscles. You're going to sit up nice and tall, and you're going to engage the muscles to pull your legs down. You can kind of feel like, oh, there's these outer hip muscles that actually pull my knees down. And then you can relax them for a moment. Exhale, push them down. And inhale, pull them up. And actually pull them up, like pull them into your elbows and then push them down. And feel how there's muscles around your hips that are responsible for this. So often we force this stretch, pushing our knees down, when this is a whole muscle group here that can be worked. And so during this workout, we didn't just stretch, we also flexed. So this is really going to be beneficial for stabilizing your knee joint and your hip joint, and just creating good length tension relationships all throughout your lower body. So I hope you did enjoy this stretch, and I hope you do it in your morning and evening routines a couple of times a week. It can be really beneficial for your body to either get ready for the day or de-stress and relax from the day. So, and enjoy the feeling of this workout, and I hope to see you back at this workout in just a couple of days. Take care. Let me know if you have any questions or you need form feedback, or you just want to have feedback on the workout. Did you like it? Did you feel good after? Let me know.